Hey, what's going on everybody? Commander Crane here, and we are back with another Pioneer deck tech. So today, we're going to be talking about Sultai, Oozes, and Pioneer. I'm really excited to bring the list to you, and as always, before we hop into the video, let me know in the comment section below after the video. Do you like the list? Do you hate it? What would you change? And as always, if there's any suggestions that you have for the channel, put them in the comment section below, and we will strongly consider it. So, alright. A little bit of backstory with Sultai Oozes. So I was approached by my main man, Trent. He likes to build wacky green decks in Pioneer. I know, weird, sounds familiar, right? But anyways, so he loves Oozes in general. I think Biogenic Ooze is still his favorite card. I know he's played that against me a lot, and I've lost to it many a times. But he approached me about wanting to build an Ooze deck in Pioneer. And I was like, you know what? I feel like Sultai Oozes would be really good. I know we had talked about Bant Oozes as well. And essentially, we both kind of put our brains together, and this is what we came up with here. So, huge shout out to Trent with the Sultai Oozes deck overall. We're going to hop right into it here. So, a little bit different than normal. So, normally we start by CMC, but I decided we're going to start with all the Oozes first. We're going to get right to the best part. We're playing 4 Scavenging Ooze. It's so obvious. You know, everybody figured we were going to be playing Scavenging Ooze. It's a 2/2 for 1 and a green ooze. We can tap a green to exile a card from our graveyard. If it was a creature card, put a +1/+1 counter on Scavenging Ooze, and you gain 1 life. Obviously, fantastic ooze. Everybody who clicked on this video knew we were going to be playing Scavenging Ooze. The card is just that good. I don't even need to go into detail with Scavenging Ooze. We're also playing 2 Inexorable Blob. It's a 3/3 for 2 and a green ooze with Delirium. When it attacks, if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, you put a 3/3 green ooze creature token onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, which fantastic card. Obviously, when it's attacking, we get a 3/3. Mind you, the token doesn't go away to combat unless it dies, so we just keep making 3/3s. So, Inexorable Blob, we're only playing 2 copies of it, but it is fantastic. We're also playing 4 Slogurk the Overslime. It's a 3/3 for 1 green-blue legendary ooze with Trample. Whenever a land card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, put a +1/+1 counter on Slogurk the Overslime. Remove 3 +1/+1 counters from Slogurk, return it to its owner's hand. When Slogurk leaves the battlefield, return up to 3 target land cards from your graveyard to your hand. So, Slogurk is very, very good for multiple reasons. Spoiler alert, we're playing a lot of self-mill cards in our deck, so that says land from anywhere. It doesn't even matter if we just mill it. That triggers Slogurk. We have a lot of 1/1 counter shenanigans, especially with an ooze on our next page, so we're able to pretty efficiently, honestly, be able to return the remove 3 counters to bounce it to our hand to protect it, and then obviously returning land cards from our graveyard to our hand. We have a bunch of the channel lands. We've got a whole bunch of lands just in general that are great if we return them to our hand in general. So yes, Slogurk, very, very fantastic card. Gets really, really big and can do some very, very silly things. Next, we are playing 4 Gelatinous Cube. It's a 4/3 for 4 black ooze. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-ooze creature an opponent controls until Gelatinous Cube leaves the battlefield. Then it has the ability to dissolve. It's X and a black. Put target creature card with mana value X, exile with Gelatinous Cube into its owner's graveyard. So, pretty much, obviously, we eat a non-ooze an opponent controls, and then we can pay the CMC of the card and put it in their graveyard, which is great for multiple reasons, because 1, that means we can eat it with Scavenging Ooze, but the main reason why it's good is if our opponent kills the Gelatinous Cube and we exile it, we put it in their graveyard, they don't get the creature back with the Gelatinous Cube. Just figured I would mention that in there, so because a lot of people are kind of confused why it has that ability. But anyways, yes, Gelatinous Cube, basically like a Necrotal, just a fantastic card to be playing. Then, rounding out our curve, we're playing 4 Biogenic Ooze. It's a 2/2 for 3 green ooze. When it enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 green ooze creature token. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each ooze you control. Then for 1 green, we can create a 2/2 green ooze creature token. So, Biogenic Ooze, obviously, you know, everybody knew it was going to be in the deck. It's on the thumbnail there. Puts 1/1 counter on all of our oozes. We're playing a whole bunch of them, obviously. And Biogenic Ooze, really, simply put, if our opponent doesn't answer it, this card just gets out of hand extremely fast. So, Biogenic Ooze, I love this card. Probably my favorite personal card in the deck overall. So, those are all of our oozes that we're playing. So, we're going to hop into our next page here, which is kind of like our self-mill that we're playing. We're playing 4 Gristly Salvage and 2 Witherbloom Commands as our main self-mill. Obviously, it's great because it mills our graveyard. Then we can put lands back into our hand, which is fantastic. Gristly Salvage definitely mills a lot more, and we can put a creature over land. Witherbloom Command doesn't mill as much, but we still get to return a land, but it's also kind of like an abrupt decay in a way, destroy a non-creature, non-that permanent with mana value 2 or less. Our creature gets -3/-1, and it also drains. So Witherbloom Command and its Grisly Salvage, definitely very, very good cards in the deck. We're also playing 2 Ashiok Dream Render. So 2 main reasons why we're playing the Ashiok. One is because it helps with the Delirium with the Inexorable Blob, so that way we're better able to get the trigger when it attacks. Second reason being, obviously it self-mills us and exiles our opponent's graveyard, which can be very, very good against a number of decks in the format. And not that it's super relevant, but the spells and abilities your opponent's control can't cause their controller to search libraries can be very, very relevant against a number of different decks in the format. So overall, Ashiok just a really, really strong card. We were trying to decide what we wanted to put in a 3-drop slot, and I was thinking of Planeswalker, and we decided to play Ashiok. So Ashiok, very, very welcome addition to the deck overall. So our last page here we're going to be talking about is our removal package. We're playing 4 Fatal Push, 3 Abrupt Decay, and 2 Assassin's Trophy as our removal package. Obviously, Golgari has extremely good removal in this format, and this is kind of the example of it. It hits pretty much about everything for the most part, especially the Assassin's Trophies. It gets anything we need. So that is our entire main board. We're going to hop into our lands here. We're playing 4 Blooming Marsh, 4 Overgrown Tomb, and 2 Breeding Pools. Obviously, just staple dual lands of the format. We're playing 1 Watery Grave and 4 Fabled Passage. Sorry, not Pethage. So Fabled Passage is fantastic with Slogurk, especially because it does say whenever a land is put there into the graveyard from anywhere, which obviously, if we crack Fabled Passage, that does trigger Slogurk. So Fabled Passage, obviously great, and it also can help with our Delirium potentially too, puts a land into the graveyard. So rounding out our lands here, we're playing 1 Boseiju, 1 Takenuma, and 1 Otawara. Obviously with Slogurk, we're able to buy these back pretty efficiently overall, as long as we just keep putting +1/+1 counters on it. And obviously they're just free lands. Why wouldn't we play them? So that's why we're playing 1 of each. And rounding out our lands, we are playing 3 forests, 3 swamps, and 1 island. We are playing the Fabled Passage, obviously, so we want to make sure we have basics to grab. As the spicy land of the day, I decided to pick some beautiful Zendikar basics. I've been really into the Zendikar basics recently. I've been playing a lot of them in my deck, and these are a couple of my favorites right here that I decided to have in our deck today. And I don't know, especially the swamp, an Ooze would live there. An Ooze would absolutely live in that part of the swamp for sure. So, okay, that's our entire main board. We're going to hop into the sideboard here. We're playing 3 Tormod scripts. Obviously fantastic against graveyard decks. We already have a little bit of help in the graveyard department with Ashiok and Scavenging Ooze, but why not? Let's make those Greasefang players just really, really mad. So we're playing 3 Tormod scripts. Also, what's great is if we mill these artifacts, it can help with our Delirium as well. So that I figured I would also mention that. We're also playing 2 Damping Spheres, obviously great against Mono Green Devotion, any Storm decks, and obviously also good against the Lotus combo decks. So, Damping Sphere, staple card of the format. We're also playing 3 Thoughtseize. We definitely want to bring these in against Control and probably other mid-range decks, also bring them in against combo decks. So, pretty much everything except aggro for the most part for the Thoughtseize. So, very, very good card, obviously in the format. Rounding out our sideboard, we're playing 3 Disdainful Strokes. Great against any deck that plays a lot of spells with CMC 4 or greater. Predominantly like Mono Green and Lotus combo, they're very, very good against. But, if our opponent's playing a bunch of big stuff, bring them in. Why not? We're also playing 2 Noxious Grasps. It's a very specific sideboard card. Obviously, it only hits green or white creature or planeswalkers, but there's a lot of really good green and white creature planeswalkers in the format. So that's why we're playing the 2 Noxious Grasps. And then we're also playing 2 Crippling Fear. I've always been a big fan of Crippling Fear in like typal or tribal deck sideboards. Obviously the -3/-3 to all that. You choose a creature type. Creatures that aren't of the chosen type get -3/-3. So we just name Ooze, and then we get rid of all the other ones, which is fantastic. So a little bit of disclaimer before ending the sideboard here. I know everybody's local metagame is a little bit different. This is the sideboard that we chose for our local metagame, but obviously if yours is a little different, don't be afraid to change up your sideboard. Just figured I would also throw that in there. So that is the entire deck. That is Sultai Oozes. This is definitely one of the more unique decks I think we've really ever posted for the most part on the channel here. Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you like the list? Do you hate it? Is there anything that you would change? Was there an Ooze that we forgot? Is there an Ooze that we definitely should be playing? Just let us know in the comment section below. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me on this deck tech. This is a really, really fun one to do. And that's it. That's all I got for you. I'll see you in the next one.